Good afternoon, class. I'm Sean Jack,
I'm Andrea Reyes.
I'm Kevin Flyer.
and our presentation on transformational change is about the changes Google underwent to survive and become a thriving company.
Okay.
First is the history of Google. These two guys are the co-CEOs and owners and the inventors of Google. This is Larry Page and Sergey Brin. They were undergrad students together in Stanford in 1996, where they developed their first search engine called Backrub in their dorm room, and they created their first data center in their dorm room in '98. A little more of the backstory: they were fellow classmates with David Philo, who is the creator of Google, of Yahoo, and he encouraged them to take it serious and go into it. So they were able to find some investors, and they raised $1 million. And in September 7th of 1998, they started Google officially in a friend's garage in Menlo Park, California. In their humble beginnings, Google served over 10,000 inquiries a day, and by '99 they were servicing 500,000 inquiries a day, and presently they own 67% of the total search market. So they went from a garage to top of the world, number one. All right, the organizational structure and culture of Google. All right. So can anybody guess what this is?
This is binary.
Code.
No, it's matrix.
That's the matrix.
All right, so they have a matrix structure at Google. And here's 3 levels of it. One is function-based, where like they group the salespeople with salespeople. They have the product-based, which is also employees working on the same product or work together. And then they have the flatness. The employees, teams, or groups can bypass middle management and report directly to the CEO, Larry Page. And employees also can meet and share information across teams. So they have a matrix structure, and it's flat and it's very open. Now the culture at Google is they have 5 principles. One is open. The employees feel free to express their ideas and opinions. Innovative. Employees are conditioned to contribute innovative ideas. Smart, with an emphasis on excellence. The firm also favors smart employees to strive for excellence. Hands-on, the company supports employee involvement in projects and experiments, and they support small company family reporting. So they've created a warm environment where the ideas are flowing, nobody's uptight, and they feel like that's their best way of doing business. They also have the 7-20-10 rule, which is 70% of the workday they're working on projects assigned by management. 20% of the day they're working on new ideas, new projects and ideas related to core projects. And 10% of the day they can work on ideas that they're trying to develop themselves on their own, regardless of what it is. So they have that freedom there. Okay, the genesis for the the big change that happened in Google. All right, so this was a process. So in the beginning, conventional wisdom was you couldn't make money advertising off of a search engine. No one had been super successful at it, and nobody knew how to monetize it real well. Because before it was just banners that were placed on websites, and it was more of a shotgun method. It wasn't necessarily based, whereas today if you go on the sports website, there's apparel, there might be sports apparel or a fantasy based advertising. So, that's where it was at the time, but, to where it is now. So, Larry and Sergey recognized this, and they hated the way it slowed your internet down. They just hated the way it was done, and they were losing money. Their investors were getting antsy, but they knew something was wrong. So I guess the process started with them knowing that they had a good product, and they just had to figure out how to monetize it. So they worked on that, and then they came up with AdWord, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit, and then Andrea's gonna talk about it. But they did not in their beginning, they didn't have a business structure. There wasn't really a business model for making money off of a search site. So they didn't have their future wasn't looking good. They didn't have any business structure. Like I said, the investors were getting antsy. They were bleeding their accounts for money, and they couldn't figure out how to make money out of it. So, but they knew if they could structure to where they could sell more pointed advertising to the companies, that it would make more money, and that's when they created AdWords.
I bet that clicker is working now. Is it turned on the side? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's got to turn it on.
I gotta get that.
Okay, so I'm gonna start talking about the factors of the change with AdWords, and it changed. The AdWords changed the way online marketing was. How it changed it. They came up with AdWords in 2000, but really they weren't really. How do you say this? It wasn't really like. It didn't hit, you can say, or it wasn't successful in the 2000 until 2003, when it became more. They decided to make it more advanced, or make it to the point where people could specify what type of people or kind of customers they wanted. For example, like if somebody had a company on a sports, they could target people who were into sports, and they didn't have that before 2003. AdWords was a faster way to promote business. It was more detailed. And people could get the results of in an instant. It wasn't something that it was like a process where you would have to check when you would get, when someone viewed you, like you would know right away who was viewing you.
Who's viewing you right now? I'm just kidding.
Awesome. I'm gonna say viewing you. Okay, and then was the change good or bad? I think it was a good change because in 2008, Google reported that they made $221 billion just in advertising, and it was just on the AdWords. Google is making most of its revenue from AdWords, not other things. And I think, sorry, that was supposed to be the next slide. In a decade after AdWords was launched, it started making $42 billion in its revenue. And they always make sure that it's improving I read an article where it said that they improve it weekly, not just like monthly. It's like weekly. They make sure it's improving, and they make updates on it weekly. That was something that they
How often do they improve it?
said weekly.
I'm just kidding.
Just a joke. Then they installed something called Quality Score. And they've, after they instituted quality source, only 2 keywords were stated, and one was active and inactive. And for active, it meant that the bid was sufficient, and if it was inactive, it's just like a simple ad. It wouldn't. That's all I know.
Okay.
So, who knows what hindsight is? Hindsight.
It's 2020.
2020?
It's always 2020.
Monday morning quarterbacking, right?
Yeah.
We know about Alabama and Monday morning quarterbacking, trust me.
Roll
Yeah.
Tide.
Roll Tide.
Hindsight, yeah. It was kind of, well, from my research, Google, it seemed almost like the perfect company, but not all companies are perfect. For example, Google had a chance to buy a company known as Oracle that had what's it called? Standard software platforms to help their what's it called their Android phones. To what's it called?
Java?
Java. There you go, Java. And they had a chance to buy it, but they didn't. Oracle had patents and copyrights to Java that if anyone would use it, they would go and downright like sue the company that's using it. And example, Google was one of them who got sued. They could have in hindsight they could have bought out Java or Oracle to avoid this lawsuit, but they didn't. No one knows why. I mean, them, so too bad.
It was actually Sun had Java, I believe.
Oh, those Sun
And
Microsystems. also-
Oracle bought Java from Sun, or bought Sun, can't remember what. But Google could have swept in and done that, they thought, at that time, and gotten a discount on it. And instead Oracle had it, so they had the patent lawsuit. Yeah.
It was also formerly known as Unix or Linux.
Well, they make a Unix-based
Oh, Unix,
operating
sorry.
system, yeah.
Didn't Facebook buy Oracle?
No.
I think that's
Facebook bought, not Skype, what did they-
Instagram?
Instagram.
Yeah.
They bought WeChat.
Is it Photo Bucket?
Didn't
Snapchat.
Facebook buy Oracle?
No, they didn't buy Oracle.
Oh.
Oracle's a huge database company.
thinking about the head.
Yeah, they bought,
website.
Oculus.
Oculus, okay.
Yeah, I was
Alright,
thinking
yeah.
that too.
Okay.
With the Oculus Rift, you can look behind in hindsight.
And what could we learn from the lessons from Google, or what we learned from them? Well, anyone can make a giant business or anything. Example, to people that are from Stanford, names again? Sergey and
Larry Page.
Larry David
Page.
Page.
Yeah.
Sorry. Google helped out like small companies out there with their word ads.
Yes.
Word ads.
AdWords.
AdWords.
There you go.
You know, Google's not a perfect company, or no one is, in hindsight.
Well, can I ask a question? I don't mean to interrupt. Is it all right if I ask
Yeah,
a
go ahead.
quick question? What was so transformational about AdWords? Because it seems to me that's the transformational change you guys are talking about is AdWords. What was so transformational about that?
Before that, they were broke, and after AdWords came in, they, they went up instead of down.
They pretty much broke the code on how to structure internet marketing, how to make the most money out of the advertising. in
Okay.
internet marketing. And that's before then, they didn't have any business structure. There was no business structure, there was no business model for that type of business, well, ever for internet marketing. So they,
So we haven't talked about Eric Schmidt. Do you guys know who Eric Schmidt is?
yes, I came across them.
Yeah, so Eric was the CEO, because Larry and Sergey were college graduates. They didn't know enough about running a billion-dollar company. So they hired Eric Schmidt to come in and help them make a company, so to speak,
Right.
instead of just two guys in a garage.
Right.
And Eric, I think, was the one who pioneered the AdWords concept of, well, we need to monetize. You'll hear that a lot on the
Right.
internet. You need to be able to monetize what we do. And Google had done a great job of indexing the internet, but it was like, what's the next step?
Right, yeah, they didn't know how to make money off it.
So that transformational change of AdWords, outside of what it did for Google, why would that be a transformational change?
Do they also help the small companies get an AdWords, and they promote themselves through?
Yeah, what do you think, but what was transformational about that for small companies? I agree with you, it's transformational, I'm not gonna tell you it's not, but I'm trying to get us to go deeper than just Google made money. There was a lot to that, it really did change the world, so I'm trying to get you guys to analyze why and how.
Instead of promoting yourself, you can just go to AdWords, and you would get promoted throughout the world, not just like locally, but worldwide.
Okay.
It made small businesses have another options to spread their word or spread their company instead of like word of mouth or like flyers around their area. They could go out more farther ahead, like states, maybe out of the country too. Because the internet is worldwide. It could go from anywhere to Russia, China, anywhere really.
So you have a cleaning service with your family, right?
Yeah.
Let's say somebody looks up a cleaning service in Rhode Island and they get Kevin Playa Cleaning in San Diego, California. Does that help them?
But they could search just locally, and they can find what's in their local area.
Okay. Is that possible for, what?
Yes.
Was it possible with what?
Oh, back
Before
then.
Google?
No.
Oh,
Google,
before
no.
Google.
That's what I'm saying, that's the
That's what I'm saying.
transformational changes
Right.
they made, companies like mine that I had, I could pay for AdWords or like go on YouTube, and use AdWords to, when people type in searches, depending on where they are, how old they are, what demographic they had, how much money they make, where they're going to school, whether they're divorced. You can go through all these parameters, and actually Facebook is way better at the parameters, I would say, than AdWords. But they made it possible for people like me to target the exact customer I want,
Right.
or the group that I think I want, or the search term I think I want, and be able to advertise to those kinds of people. So before that, you were just pretty much like put up posters and hope people heard about you. But it was a huge change, because anybody here in this room can get an AdWords account and tomorrow start bidding on search terms and start a company. It's pretty cool.
Anything else?
Oh, just pointing that out. I thought that was a good part of it.
Any questions?
Why don't you ask them some questions? You got 12 minutes to go. Andrew, you got any questions for us?
Would you guys ever use? Well, I mean, I know maybe you did, but or did you use?
I actually preferred Facebook over Google. I've used them both, but Facebook to me gave me more targeted users,
Okay.
because I could say that they like Xbox, that they come from a single home, like they had all this data that you could pull about people. That's why Facebook's like a dream come true for advertisers, because we willingly tell them everything about ourselves, and then they can use that to go out and sell it to people like me that want to advertise. So it's kind of fun that way.
Wasn't there like some legal, some legal issues with that?
Well, how much do you pay for Facebook?
It's free.
No, it's not free. How much do you pay for Facebook?
For advertising?
I don't have Facebook.
Or
No. How much do you pay to use Facebook?
Depends on how many
I don't know.
gigabytes you use.
to pay for your internet,
Pays for the
right?
internet, the cell phone, those stuff.
How much you pay for Google? How much do you pay Google every month to be able to search?
I don't.
Just download it for free.
Nothing is free.
Are you talking
That's
about
the
the
fallacy.
Oh,
Nothing
you-
is free.
Oh, you pay them by giving your
You
information.
pay them with your information. Okay, so they take and they mine. That's what they call. They mine your information, and Google's gotten very good at that. And so, you know, we all get on and we Google a term. They follow every click that you make after that, how long you stay on the page, what converted. They have databases that track everything. And then it comes back through and it says, next time Andrea goes to that page, you know, you'll see the same ad. It was funny, just the other day, this is gonna sound really funny, but just the other day, I'm on Apple website, like an Apple blog, and they're showing me a men's underwear ad. And I'm like, where did they come up with that? I have never searched for anything like that. I'm like, this is the stupidest ad tracker I've ever seen in my life. Like, I've never searched online for men's underwear. Like, why? Who put that into an Apple thing? You know, like, how did I get into a group where they're advertising men's underwear? But the concept is that hopefully the ads are things that you'd be interested in instead of just random crap you throw out there. So that's pretty good. And anybody has access to it, so it is pretty transformational. So when you start your iguana business, what if people are looking for iguanas? How are they gonna find wordiguanas.com? What would you do with Google? You wanna go on the line. Sorry. You wanna go on the line, build a website. How do you get people online to find you? When was the last time you typed in a website? Don't we all just pull up the search bar and just type it in? We'll even type in Nike.com into the search bar. No joke. And we'll wait for the Google results to come up and then click on it. I see my parents do that all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I told them not to do that a minute ago. It's the same bar. It's not the one down here. Just click on that one up there. It'll take you right to Nike.com. You know, like, can't believe it. But how would people find you if they're looking for iguanas? Is that a response?
I haven't even thought about that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, how do they find you online?
Some type of advertisement.
We'll type in iguanas, right? Maybe. Where to buy an iguana. You might get a bunch of people all over the country for that. So if you're in Vista, let's say, you might want to say where to buy an iguana in Vista would be your keyword term. That's long tail. It's getting a little bit longer. But if someone says where to buy an iguana in Vista, California, and hits enter, and you've bid for your result to come up, because it's usually just the top 2 or 3 results. They have different things they experiment with all the time. You're probably going to be that's probably going to be somebody looking to find you, right? They're going to be somewhere around Vista. They're going to want to find someone there. And so the likelihood of that converting, you might pay $5 for that result, because that's someone's probably going to buy an iguana and come get it from you. So that might be something you're investing in. And AdWords can be very expensive. It can get really expensive, especially if you're doing, like if you try to like rank for weight loss. I'm sure you're paying $20 a hit for that. But you have to make sure that you have conversions and it makes sense. You can spend a lot of money in AdWords really quick and not have any results get with that conversion process that I get. So, okay, so that's interesting. Good transformational change there. So anything else? What else are you guys gonna tell us? You got 6 minutes. Where are yours?
Well, do you want to hear their mission statement?
Sure.
It's to organize the world's information and make it universal, accessible, and useful. I think it's a really cool mission statement. And it likes to focus on the users. Ever since they started, it's been on the users, or that's their target.
Tracking their users.
That too.
No, it's interesting. How did search work before? Do you guys know how search worked before Google?
No.
It's called meta
Encyclopedia.
tags. No, it's called meta tags. You would, on your website, go in and do a meta tag and say, my website's about iguanas and what do you call it, terrariums? And terrariums or something like that. You put a couple keywords in, and the only thing that like Yahoo or Alta Vista or these old search engines would look for was that meta tag, that keyword that you had there. And Google doesn't do that. Google actually reads the whole page, sees who links to you. It has this whole algorithm. I mean, that's how they make their money, is their algorithm is their secret sauce. But even Bing, have you guys used Bing?
Hate it.
Yeah, I did.
You hated Bing? I hate Bing too. So I actually made a noble effort to just try Bing. And I went on my phone, I switched my default search to Bing. And I just totally forgot about it. 6 months later, I'm like, what the heck has happened to Google? Like, they suck at search results. I was looking something on my phone, but what the heck is that result? And I'm like, this is so stupid. I should go to Bing or something like that. So I scrolled up and I'm like, oh, I'm on Bing. Crap. And so I switched back to Google. I'm like, there's all the results. I mean, they just are really good at their search results, I think. And it's because they are looking at different things than just meta tags. But as far as transformational, so they've made a lot of money off of it. What do they do now? What's the next transformational change you think Google has to do?
I read something about I think somebody bought them out. Was it Alphabet?
Well, they bought themselves.
And they're from what I just slightly read, they're undergoing another change, but I didn't exactly read all the way into it.
Yeah, so what pays for everything in Google right now is search. And the problem is that desktop search is starting to decrease and mobile search is starting to increase, but they're not making, like Facebook is making a lot more money in mobile search than Google is. And so they're actually paying for lots of things. All the other companies, Google Fiber, the autonomous cars, they have lots of projects going all the time. Google Glass, X Labs, or whatever they call it, have all these different things going on, and they decided that it wasn't fair that it was all under Google. So they made another company called Alphabet that has absorbed Google, and they're putting like Google Fiber in its own group and all this stuff. So they're all gonna have like little mini CEOs that all report to Larry and Sergey, and they decide how much cash they get from the big cash hoard they have. So they're gonna try and have a little more, I guess, autonomy, but let them make them like little mini companies. So it's becoming like a, what's the term I'm trying to use? It's not a subsidiary, but a conglomerate. Is what it's becoming, kind of like Samsung. What's that now? Anything else? What's the future of Google? Not hindsight, forecast.
Based on their history, I think they're gonna develop or find a way to make more money off of the mobile searches. I think they're gonna give Facebook some competition. That's what I think.
That's the whole point behind Android. They gave away an operating system so people would install it on phones, and guess who does all the search? Google. It's a Google operating
That's
system.
Google. That's
Yeah.
Google
Yeah.
farm.
You guys use Google now?
I do,
Yeah. Isn't it kind of creepy how it knows what you're about to do?
yes.
Reads all your emails, interprets what things coming up, tells you how long it's going to take you to get to your next appointment. I mean, they're trying to data mine as much information as they can so that they can serve good ads to you. What you want.
Yeah, my YouTube searches are from my phone to my laptop. They're like they're
Exactly.
almost synced.
Yeah, they are.
It's like the weirdest thing.
And in fact, Chrome, everybody use Chrome?
I do.
Yeah.
So Chrome syncs completely. Like I was on last night trying to do some stuff on my phone. So Chrome's the same thing where if you look for it on there, you can actually look up your history from your phone on your computer and vice versa. And I have all the same bookmarks and it's all just together. They're doing Chromecast now. They're all about search and trying to figure out how to monetize search. And they're pretty good at it. So it's an interesting concept. So any final words?
I mean, my takeaway was they had the right people and they had the right idea, and once they developed it, they just need to figure out how to turn it into a profitable business. And then, like you said, they brought in Schmidt, and he had the business experience, and I I think that's what makes them successful. So you can have, I took away, like, you can have you can have the right people with really good ideas, but they need the right business people and the right business models, or a business model in general, for it to actually take off. You could just have a good idea, but if you don't have the right business model or vision, then it could never come to fruition. So that's my biggest takeaway from this project.
All right, thank you.